Hi guys, welcome to the Full Time Devils podcast. It's me, Jay, today joined by even Andy. Andy Tate's with us. Scotty, for the first time on the Full Time Devils podcast. Done the phone in, haven't you?
Yeah.
But not the actual podcast. And of course, the infamous Gaz. No Macca today. Adam McCall's not with us, or Abdullah, so you'll just have to soldier on with us lot. So,
can we just say as well before we start today, Andy's in a right mood, so it's going to be fun today.
You're in a good mood, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
Don't know what could possibly put you in a bad mood after the amazing season we've just had.
And transfer window.
So it's gone to
shit
plan.
weekend that it was.
Listen, we're going to get onto that anyway, because we have to acknowledge it, right? It was, just bear with me, right? It was an amazing victory. We have to give credit where it's due. No one thought it was going to happen. It's a brilliant story that everyone should get on board with. So well done to Andy Ruiz Jr.
Yeah.
He's absolutely
Any Andy can be heavyweight champion.
Exactly.
He's given us all hope, Annie. All those bad bods.
I'm going to say, Andy, you're built about the same as the
Yeah.
I challenge you, Andy. Just get me out of Madison Square Gardens. I'll fight you.
I don't know if you'll get a visa, but we can give it a go. Anyway, I know it's not United, but did we watch the fight, anyone?
No.
You know what?
Cutting edge boxing talk here, guys.
The reason that I was good thinking of staying up and watching it, and the reason I didn't.
25 quid on Sky, probably.
Not just that, but because I couldn't be arsed staying up, spending 25 quid to watch Anthony Joshua beat some bum up again.
Yeah. This is the thing. It was one of those. I thought it would be pretty, straightforward. Plus, I was sulking.
I wanted to get to bed ASAP, to be honest.
I had enough of sport in general was off the radar.
Consciousness.
Yeah.
Just had to go to
I just
bed.
stayed in a Wi-Fi free zone for 24 hours.
I mean, it did. We're gonna have to sort of acknowledge it. We're not that sad. It has just topped off what has been a shit season, hasn't it? Not Ruiz Jr. winning, but the Scousers winning the Champions League. It's just been awful, hasn't it?
Oh, that thing they didn't want. The other thing, what Man City won, what they were crying so much about.
Yeah.
They get a European Cup and they also, happy.
Wait, what, Andy? What?
It wasn't on the list of priorities at the start of the season, was it?
What? So you're having a go at Liverpool for being happy that they won the Champions League?
No, not having a
Inject
go.
this into my veins.
They wanted that Prem so bad.
I like
97 points gets you sod off. You know what I mean? And I will milk that. They can look.
Mate, that's
I'll
clutching
be
at
milking
straws,
it
that
if we
ball.
won the Champions League.
Well,
I'll be
you
milking
think about it. It's been a bit of a mixed bag season, and we've both United and Liverpool have ended on the same number of trophies because we won the best groundsman of the year award.
Yeah, we did.
Won the
Which is
Champions
the only
League.
one that matters.
So I think that's pretty even
Champions.
when you look at it.
I understand what Andy means, though, because the context of it, City could have won the European Cup at one point and Liverpool could have won the league. Now, that would have been the worst end of the season.
Yeah, it would have been a scenario, not like...
It got to the point where... But the thing with Liverpool was... It was horrible, and it is gutting to see, because that's where you want to be. I want United to be challenging for Champions League, getting to finals and winning trophies. So from that point of view, it is sickening. But the way the season has gone, it was almost like... after it happened, it was just like... It's just another pile of shit to add on to the...
I'll be honest,
festering mound that has been this season for United. So I'm not as bothered as I would have been perhaps last season.
I'll be honest, I was absolutely gutted after it, and I think that I was actually having to think about this and being sort of, no offense guys, but slightly younger Manchester United fan. Like you guys,
how dare you say that you're younger than us?
How old is he?
You guys, he's a look older.
No.
Well, I was thinking that you guys may remember when United didn't have as many league titles as they had, and it maybe would have been not inforeseeable, but very unlikely that we're ever going to catch Liverpool and overtake them on league titles.
Well said.
During my lifetime, growing up, it's essentially been chasing Liverpool on league titles, on Champions League, on everything, and it got to a point where it almost seemed inevitable that we were going to, after we'd overtaken them on leagues, that one day we are going to overtake them in Champions Leagues and become indefinitely the biggest club in England, if not the world. And now it's going to take a lot for us ever to catch the amount of Champions Leagues that they've got, because they've got twice as many as ours, and they are in a much better position now for the next 5 years going forward than we are, which is the scariest bit about all this.
And they will strengthen again.
And they will, and this is horrible to say, and people, United fans won't like me to say this, but in the next 5 to 10 years, Liverpool will win a league title and Manchester City will win the Champions League. They are two things that we've got to accept are going to happen. We just need to make sure we're up there with them, challenging at the same time.
You can throw Newcastle into the mix.
If that takeover happens, yeah, but I just can't see it happening at the minute. I think we're in too much of a state.
I think Liverpool have got more chance of losing their best players, though, haven't they, to Barcelona and Real Madrid, whereas I think City more of a structure, whereas if they lose any of their better players, they've got the finances to back it up, whereas Liverpool's run slightly different. So while I think City will probably win the European Cup, I'm not too sure Liverpool could win the league. If you look, everybody else is going to strengthen this season, and that's the problem. Is
people are going to cherry pick everybody's teams.
Why the fuck's it not happening at United?
Well, we have made a signing. Let's not forget.
Yeah, the young.
And I'm not reading this. I know it in my head. I'm just looking at something else. It's completely unrelated to the United signing. Before anyone accuses me, Dylan Hugerworth. Apologies, Dylan, if I'm pronouncing that completely wrong. A 16-year-old from Ajax.
I thought you were setting us up for a joke.
No, this is happening.
We actually signed him.
Just let's get one thing straight. I am not knocking this lad, right?
Yeah,
in any way, shape, or form. A 16-year-old who's signed for United is obviously an amazing footballer. So well done to him. The issue is he's been our only signing so far, and it doesn't look like we're getting anywhere with these signings. It just seems to be sort of we're going around the houses. There's talk. I know Daniel James, obviously, his dad passed away, so that's put that on the back burner, which I completely understand. But all of a sudden, you've gone from chasing De Ligt, now James Madison's been thrown in. De Ligt's been the main one, the main target. But this morning, as we're recording this, Juventus were throwing their name into the mix, who seems to have suddenly found funds to go for Paul Pogba as well. So that's a little bit worrying when you see that clubs like Juventus, and we already knew that Barcelona were in for him, because to be honest with you, I didn't think we were going to get De Ligt anyway. But now the fact that Juve and Barcelona are in for him makes me think we've got even less of a chance of getting
Real Madrid signed someone today from Eintracht Frankfurt as well. So yeah, that was announced about half an hour ago. So yeah, so it started now.
And I think, as I said to you, didn't I, before we started this, Andy, I said, why are we panicking so much? It's still so early in the window. Why are we panicking? And you quite rightly pointed out that last two windows have been so bad that we have a right to panic, and we have a right to think that maybe we might be in the same position in 3 more weeks.
You have a right to be angry at the club.
Yeah.
You have a right, even though they'll never tell you sod all, because they never do.
No.
Since the Fergie days, you'll never get the truth out United.
No.
The problem is, where's the director of football? Been talking about this since
Mourinho.
So I'd like to know who's made the judgment on signing this young lad from Ajax. And I think if we're going to get a director of football, then I think that's going to come first before any of the signings. And
Ed Woodward probably Googled 16-year-olds from Ajax.
I'm sick of saying his name, and I'm sick of the sight of him. He's doing nothing. He might be negotiating. You say, and was it the AGM last week? They kept it to a minimum about releasing the kit. They didn't release it. This big media thing for the new treble kit. They kept it low key because they know we're pissed and we're angry. And I don't want to hear no more sponsorship deals for this season.
Well, you've said that.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I want to see players.
You seen the new one?
I don't want to see.
Do you want to know about it?
Is this the tap one? Is this the tap one?
We now have Manchester United.
This is a new one, is it? This is like an old one, but it's not an old one, but this is an existing sponsorship deal, which is now gone with an angle of, is it Curler, or however you say it?
Yeah.
Released the 20th anniversary treble monumental or memorial tap.
What is it for Americans who don't know what a tap is? It a faucet?
Yeah,
faucet.
You sad bastard, Ed Woodward.
I didn't think I would ever in my lifetime be saying those words in that order. Manchester United sponsors have released memorial tap, but they have.
Sounds very Manchester United to me.
And it's like on this tap it says treble winners 1999. So if you I don't know about you, but I'm going to go home to my house in Salford and rip out my taps and get the new ones.
Wait till the Man United immediately comes out.
Because I think you're not a top red unless you've got the 1999 treble winning taps.
Totally agree.
I stand by that statement.
Could you imagine going to your mate's house to watch the game and he goes, "Yeah, come over here, guys. Got something to show you. Check me taps. Treble winners 99." You'd be like, "Mate, get a life. Get a fucking life."
Do you know what I mean?
More money than sense.
Honestly, it's enough to make you want to drown yourself in the bath.
In a Manchester United branded bath.
By the way, we are a laughing stock though, at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
I think we have to laugh at ourselves a little bit because
we're shit.
You mentioned there, Gaz. Did you ever think you'd catch Liverpool? When we did start catching Liverpool, when we did start overtaking them in terms of league titles anyway, they became really sad. City were always sad when I was growing up, and we've become
them
exact things I used to take the piss out of Scousers for, remembering the past, going on about the past, celebrating anniversaries of trophy wins that were years ago. I used to take the piss out of City of focusing on us, and the fact that we might not have won the league was like hilarious to them when they were finishing in 17th or whatever, and now we're almost doing the same. We're celebrating the fact they didn't win the Champions League when they've just won a treble. Help me out, Scott. How's it get better?
Well, they need to get rid of upstairs, really, and I can't see that happening anytime soon with the luxury faucets that they're selling and stuff. But I mean, that's where I could
just sell one more tap.
No, but I mean, Van Gaal
get that Messi signing we wanted.
Van Gaal came out this week, didn't he? And I did a great interview in terms of what was going on behind closed doors, and he was saying that he thought when he was walking into United that we'd be able to sign X, Y, and Z players and stuff. And he said it's more of a commercial business, and it was even eye-opening to him when he signed.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the Van Gaal interview. If you've not seen it, check it out. It's with Jamie Jackson. Obviously, Jamie's someone we know who's been on the show a few times, been on FullTimeDEVILS, I should say, a few times. It's a really good interview. It's really in-depth. But there is a bit of revisionism going in there. I mean, he's done very well, Van Gaal, because he's made a lot of statements here, and I've seen everyone on my timeline buying into it.
Everyone's dead positive about him, aren't they?
Because, he's right. The club is run shambolically, and nothing has changed, and it was a surprise that Ollie got the job, and I get all that. But let's not forget here, Van Gaal wasn't a great manager of Manchester United. The football was dreadful for
the worst, probably.
I didn't see a goal down my end of
the noise.
No, I'd actually say. I know where you could. I'd say Van Gaal was worse.
I'd say Van Gaal was worse.
Honestly, genuinely. I didn't see a goal down my end for 3 months.
I didn't 12 games, wasn't it, from about October till January.
I didn't score a goal in the first half. We rose down my end at the first half.
I remember what did I call him? A fat get off his Dutch pancake ass.
That was it. That was it.
Tactics and fucking
racism there.
Yeah, I mean.
Fan of pancakes, Andy. No.
Love pancakes, especially. Yeah, I love them.
Not anymore.
And also the idea, in terms of signings, it wasn't great. But let's not forget, we bought Di Maria, we bought Memphis, we bought Schneiderlin. I know these weren't all great players. We bought Blind, we bought Martial, we bought Herrera and Schweinsteiger. And whilst you may question some of these signings, when he got them, he didn't make the most of some of them. I mean, I saw Di Maria playing up front. I saw Herrera on the bench, Wayne Rooney in defensive midfield. It didn't make a lot of sense to me.
But Di Maria was at wing back.
Well, he said he said that Di Maria was given the opportunity to play in his best position for the first 10 to 11 games, and it wasn't working, and that's why he was moving him on. I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't play him in wing back. No, and I agree with you.
Di Maria's best games were his first few games. Well, first 6 or 7 games.
Leicester, that goal against Leicester.
That goal.
And then he moved him up front almost, and so I get where he's coming from, Van Gaal, but I do think we have to be realistic. And yes, great, I appreciate the fact that he started Marcus Rashford and gave Fosu Mensah a chance and wasn't afraid to give the likes of McNair and Blackett and players like that a game. But let's not kid ourselves. Van Gaal wasn't a great manager.
But no ex-manager's going to come out and interview after they've left the club and go like that. I was crap.
No, but
they're not going to say I made loads of mistakes.
He's only said this because he's been paid. His contract's up now.
I'm not knocking him, but the sort of the reaction to it has been, oh, he's right. Oh, Van Gaal, was wonderful.
Rose-tipped glasses in the nostalgia and stuff. But for me.
And he was backed.
Yeah, but it's the Van Gaal side when he was talking about the stuff that was going behind closed doors that I found interesting. It's like what you said. It's the first time any manager's come out post United and really sort of stuck the knife into the Glazers in terms of what's actually going on.
Yeah, because his contract's been paid.
Because a lot of them.
Moisey's still on the bloody payroll till the end of the month.
And you got to think with
you got a few more weeks left of that contract.
Yeah, I mean,
surely they must be getting severance pays within non-disclosure acts, because you'd expect Mourinho to come out now. Because there's no way.
You won't hear that for about another year soon with Mourinho. What the inside of it?
He's mentioned the commercial side of things, but I was at his press conference when he was unveiled, and he mentioned the commercial side of it, and he mentioned how important it was, and he mentioned that he understood that. He was like, it surprised a lot of journalists there, because he didn't just go on about the team, he went about the club, and he went, a big important part of that is the commercial side, and I'm aware of that, and where we have obligations. So you thought he must have been briefed on certain things. I think it all goes down to Andy's best mate, who's obviously interfered in with transfers or overseeing transfers, which Van Gaal again has sort of alluded to or pointed out, and that's what needs to change. We've all been saying it, and we were crying out for a director of football when Moyes took over, and 6 years later, we still haven't got one.
But even the comedy there when they're looking at ex-players to come in. I mean, I'm a Redknapp's big fan, but he was saying this week that we should be getting someone who's got experience on the continent, who knows where all the players are up and coming, and was supposedly linked with Rio Ferdinand for the job.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw that Rio didn't want it anyway because he's living in London. He don't want to move.
The guy from Leipzig.
Hang on, what?
I've heard the guy from Leipzig. He's a scout. He was scout at Southampton as well.
Could you imagine offering the director of football job to anyone, to Manchester United, and them saying no because I don't want to relocate?
Well, they gave the manager the job, didn't they? He didn't relocate. There's a flat, there's an apartment in the Lowry if you fancy it for 2 years.
I get it with Rio though. To be fair to Rio, I'm not having to think. He's got kids. He's got obviously he's had a lot of things that have changed in his life. So I can understand that he don't want to upheave his kids if that's the case. I'm not saying it is. That's just what I read. But you think that would be a conversation you have before you interview someone rather than afterwards. So it just stinks of fact. You mentioned it. Darren Fletcher. I loved Darren Fletcher as a midfielder, roaming around midfield, throwing himself into tackles, winning the ball back, up and down, box to box. I don't know if Darren Fletcher's got the contacts on continental Europe to oversee transfers. I don't know if Darren Fletcher's had any experience whatsoever of negotiating a deal.
He could play a part. If they've got somebody experienced, he could be like... He could become a scout. He knows what
why is he training on the job at Manchester United, though? That's the thing.
No, he can't be
having work placement at United.
He can't be a director of football.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, he was a...
You don't play your trade there. That United job should be the holy land where everyone aspires to go when they start off as being a director of football, not the first place to go for an apprentice and move on to a bigger club.
If this director of football, we do a point, he needs to disappear from the public eye and concentrate on the background inside Carrington and operate a scouting system. And who we get and who we're watching, not like a City and Liverpool, they're doing it right. I don't even know their names. I've never heard of them, but
Kyrgyzstan, but you're
they're in the background of doing it right. And this is what United needs to do, but they're not doing, and they won't do because they're thick as anything.
It's a good point what you made there then about director of football. They should be like the idea of getting a United job. That should be the holy grail. It's not a stepping stone or anything like that. Same goes for players. Now, I was massively sort of weirded out really by that Herrera video when he left, because that felt to me like a player who is leaving Man United on good terms and he's going on to bigger and better things, and we should all be happy for him. Like, yes, one of our players is so good, he's gone to sign for this great club, PSG. Like, if you actually watch the video with that idea in your head, it's like a player going from West Ham to Real Madrid. Like how obviously West Ham fans would be like quite excited for their player. That's how it felt. I was like,
a bit like
they did that to make it a little bit smoother because they know that. You know what I mean?
But what has Herrera done to deserve that video that Van Persie didn't do? Because they didn't even acknowledge Van Persie left the club when he left. They didn't even acknowledge it.
One of probably the best striker in terms of talent I've ever seen at United.
Fell out with Ronaldo, that's why he got shipped.
He didn't play in the cup final against Wigan. He was sort of moved on, and it was like, that was see you later, thanks for everything. 150 goals, whatever it was, in 200 games, whatever the figure was, it was ridiculous. Like going back to my other point, we are becoming a bit of a laughing stock. I love Herrera, one of my favourite players recently, but that video was a bit like, you're not Brian Robson.
Who does he think he is? That's what I thought.
And it missed out all his best bits, all the shithousery.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see him elbowing people and rolling around on the floor. I want to see him dragging Ross Barkley back in the semi-final and then throwing himself to the floor when Ross Barkley kicks out.
Was the Gerrard red card against Herrera?
Yes, of course it was.
Of course it was.
Yes.
Yeah. That was funny.
Thanks for the memories, Anders.
Put that. In fact, you know what? There is a little bit of that.
Is there?
The Gerrard. I think there's the Gerrard one. That game is in there.
Oh,
it's
right.
Like, it's a blinking you'll miss, but if you know it, you'll say that's the bit where Gerrard stamps on him, and he obviously starts crying and gets Gerrard sent off.
Good times.
James Madison.
For me, we were talking off air, like if Pogba, you were saying it's scary because it looks like Pogba might go if he's the sort of player that we're going to bring in because there's another playmaker. My situation on this is whether you are a fan of Pogba or not, and I know you're not, Andy, is Pogba going to be there in 2 years? He's not. Whether you like him or not, I can't see Pogba being there in 2 years. So what we need now is we need to be bringing in someone in his position to build a team around, because I'm sick with, for the last 2 years, Pogba needs a team built around him. And it's obviously, I don't think it's working out, whether it's down to his own mentality or the players that come around him, but I think either this year or next year he's going to be going, so we can't be reliant on building a team around Pogba. Now, for bringing James Madison in, I thought it was a fantastic signing for last season, really good.
I do like Madison.
I
think so. Was he at Norwich for a bit?
I remember him being at
But
Norwich.
I like James Madison. My issue is if I get the sort of horrible feeling that we're replacing certain players with players that aren't as good. Now, I like James Madison. I think he's a good player. My worry is he's coming in because Pogba's going. We've been linked with some goalkeepers because they're coming in because De Gea's going. And I think we're going to end up going into next season not as strong as we are this season because...
We're not strong now.
No, that's my issue. Are we replacing the likes of De Gea and Pogba with...
mid-table players?
But the difference is there is that we can have Pogba, who's fantastic on paper, or when he plays for France, or we know what he's got in his locker. But if he isn't producing that on the pitch week in, week out, it doesn't matter if we've got a James Madison. And I'm not saying he's the answer to replace him, but if you get an 8 out of 10 James Madison, he's better than consistently 6 out of 10 Pogba, isn't it?
Are we agreed that they can't play together? Do you not see them coming in together?
Anybody can play together.
Unless you were going to bring Pogba back.
Anyone can play together, apart from Gerrard and Lampard.
No, that's what I mean. Unless you're going to bring Pogba back a little bit. I can't see him playing together. When I first saw it, I was initially quite excited. I think James Madison's really one of the players that stands out, and some of the passing between him and Vardy, the link-up play is good, and he's always got his eye for a through ball going forward. He almost seems a little bit more direct than Pogba. Like when he gets
a bit further forward than Pogba
constantly wanting to get it quickly.
He's almost in that sort of false 10 or whatever you want to call it, where Pogba tends to be sort of more of a midfielder, attacking midfielder.
So it feels like it would have to be a direct replacement for Pogba.
That's my concern with it, because I just feel like I get where you're coming from with Pogba, and I think the trouble we've got with Pogba is there's no grey area. You either seem to be Pogba FC or you want rid of him. I do sort of sit in between. I think on his days he's a phenomenal footballer. I think he's a talented footballer. I do think he's got another level that he can raise himself to, and we need to see that more consistently. But I do want him to stay. I do think we should be trying to keep hold of Paul Pogba. I really do. I think losing him would be a blow to me, and I'll be honest with you. I think he's a player that if he's in the team, you've always got a chance.
Incoming all the comments now. Yeah. Why do you have a go at Pogba but you don't have a go at Rashford? Because he's 21 years old.
Marcus Rashford's got nothing to do with this conversation anyway, because James Madison isn't being brought in to replace Marcus Rashford. And if we are linked with someone that is, then we can have that conversation. And if you want to know about Marcus Rashford, watch Gazzy's Twarman, because he's discussed anything we need to discuss about Marcus Rashford this week.
Forgot.
His chain.
His chain.
Yeah. So if you're interested in whinging or commenting about Marcus Rashford, go on that, because that's the irreverent look at it all.
Fashion icon.
Yeah. I mean, people have been pointing out, is it a pass in the game against Bolivia that Pogba's done?
Oh, yeah, last 24 hours.
This is what I mean. It's so people are going, look at what he can do. Yeah. And then other people are going, he's a fucking friendly against Bolivia. Yeah. So it's just so polarising, and it does made in. My personal take is, let's keep him. But I do like the idea that we are going for a certain type of player, and James Madison, someone who's got a Premier League experience, sounds like the right sort of player we should be going for, up and coming as well.
Yeah, better than Jesse Lingard, anyway. It's my opinion.
No, you're not. It's your opinion. There's no right or wrong.
I think Jesse's concentrating more now. People can say I'm having a go at him. That's their opinion. He's more fashion now. His playing career's finished.
No, and I don't know about that, Andy. I think that's well early to be saying stuff like that. And also, do you not realise what would be the best thing for Jesse Lingard now in terms of selling his brand and selling his fashion? The best thing for him would be performing on the pitch. It's like that's what he wants to do. He's not been doing it the last 3 or 4 months, mate. It's because he's not that good. He's just not. He's not a top player.
What team would he get into in the Premier League?
He'd get into, I think, teams in the top 10, definitely. Teams challenge him for the Europa League, for a Europa League place. I think that's the level.
There's the answer.
That's the level.
Swap deal with the Leicester lad.
No, yeah. I agree. James Madison, I think he's better than Jesse Lingard.
Swap deal, get it done.
But this is the problem with so many players in United's squad right now, where people,
it's your opinion.
People are having a go at his effort and what he's putting into it, and I think that Jesse Lingard is the last player you complain about when it comes to effort. He's just not at the level that should be starting week in, week out for United. He'd be a great squad player, but because he's being relied upon, the same thing happening with Marcus Rashford, that's a little bit more confusing because of how young he is. People have a go at him.
Well, won't surprise me if they fire for England this week. They just click like that and they have a fantastic week.
Is there not an element here, and I keep saying this week in, week out, and forgive me because people are going to again jump on the comments, but does Ollie not have to take some responsibility for some of these players? Because Jesse Lingard was injured, he was rushed back against Liverpool, wasn't fit, went off injured, came on and went off, if memory serves, didn't he, against Liverpool?
Yeah.
And then we had to have Marcus Rashford hobbling around because we'd used up all our subs, which again had a knock-on effect. I don't think Marcus Rashford has looked right for months. Are these players being managed in the right way? Are we all? Is it all?
Do you mean from
they get a pass?
Yeah, he does because he's learning
everything, fitness, tactics, the lot.
We've gone through 2 managers with the same squad, and we're getting apart from that miraculous 12-game run,
14 out of 17 wins.
We're getting exactly the same stuff with two different managers. So
because under Jose, Jesse played a big part in us winning 2 trophies.
But Pogba was nonsense. Was Bobbins? I mean this season. Like if you split the season in half. Under Jose, Pogba was great under Solskjaer for 12 games. But
since the Christmas before we've been the same as we was. We fizzed out after, and City walked away with the league, and we've been the same ever since.
In that train of thought, then, I get what you're saying. They've underperformed with Jose, underperformed under Ole. What about Martial then? Because he performed really well under Jose. He was banging him in for fun.
Until we signed Sanchez, which we made the Sanchez.
No, this season, last season just gone.
Yeah.
You remember the goals against Chelsea. He was like our top scorer. He scored 9 in 12 games under Jose. He was the one shining light. Ollie came in and he kept it up a little bit, but then again, now he looks like he's.
I won't be surprised if Sanchez starts the season.
Is it all?
We can't get rid of him.
Is it all the players' fault? Is it Martial's fault? Is it Lingard's fault? Is it Rashford's fault? Is it Pogba's fault? That they're all not performing. We can throw Lukaku into that mix and Sanchez into that mix.
They've got to take responsibility.
We have to take some responsibility that A is either not using them right or B is not getting out the best out of them.
I think everyone needs to take responsibility. Totally, the players and the manager. And Ollie, like you say, especially with the way he dealt with Jesse Lingard coming back from injury, he completely balls that one up totally, and he didn't look the same since then. So maybe you could put a bit more of that on Ollie. But
I'm not advocating Ollie out before anyone gets excited.
No.
He just seems to get a bit of a pass for what was the worst run in Manchester United's history.
Yeah.
It was awful, and it was against garbage.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Sitting there watching Cardiff, not just beat us, but take the piss out of us, was a low point for me as a United fan. You were at the Huddersfield game, weren't you? First fan can you done a little while.
Someone knocked my wing mirror off that day as well, and we lost my car. Lost my car for half an hour walking around Huddersfield because I couldn't remember where I parked it. Found it, someone had knocked the fucking mirror off.
You're a regular on the Huddersfield fan cams, aren't you?
Well, what happened last time I went? I chased Ed Woodward down the street. I saw him coming out the scene, so I chased him down the street saying, "Sign Messi!" Yeah,
he's that FullTimeDEVILS answer to Roger Cook. That's one for you older listeners and viewers there. Hey.
Wow.
But yeah, it was awful. We were playing rubbish against rubbish teams. How much does the manager needs to book his own ideas up next season going into this, because we can't be having another run like we just had, can we?
For me, do you think Ollie made that massive amount of difference to actually get the performance levels up, or was it just because when a new manager came in, why Paul Pogba and Co were playing better?
I'll give them a bit of love and they all start performing.
Because what that shows to me is that once you took someone that they didn't like out of the situation, Solskjaer is not known as a tactician or anything, but he's come in and said, "Oh, everything's all right now, lads." Then they went on and won so many games. I just think they're just too many whinging bastards in the team. Seriously,
I agree.
This goes back to, and I'm not slagging Pogba off, but Pogba was signed to be the pinnacle and supposed to be the team leader and stuff. But when United are crap, when Pogba's crap, United are crap. Yeah. When Pogba's great, United are playing great. There isn't anybody else outside of him that picks up the mantle and sort of says, "Listen, I'm a captain or I'm a leader," and they just seem to fall by the wayside far too many times.
I mean,
they all bollock each other. I mean, somebody made the point a few weeks back. I think it was you, Ashley Young, bollocking Fred, and Fred saying was probably thinking.
Fred don't speak English, does it?
Fred's probably thinking.
It wasn't me. I think it was Abdullah. But
I'm making a mistake, and he's Ashley Young having a go at Fred, and Ashley Young's thinking. Fred's thinking, why are you bollocking me when you just done this, that, and the other as well?
Yeah.
There's no, you can't keep finger pointing. You got to take the fucking responsibility and fucking accept it. And none of them are taking the responsibility. They say it on their Instagram. Oh, we accept full responsibility.
That really,
bullshit.
It really
fucking sick of it. I'm sorry for swearing, but I am sick of the bullshit comes out of their mouths now. And it's time start the season. Some of them players probably got till Christmas. If they survive this transfer window, they'll fuck off. They'll have to fuck off in January.
The thing is, though, I can see Solskjaer going before a lot of them players. To be honest,
he's not going. I will back him all the way.
I'm
backing him. I'm sick of changing managers, and I'm sick of these players stealing a fucking living.
Andy, I completely agree with you, mate. But like, as we said off air, it's a lot easier to get rid of the manager than it is the players. Managers don't sell football shirts.
No.
Or taps.
We're looking it from the board. Hey, the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer
there you go. The
memorial tap will be out soon.
Babyface assassin shower.
Yeah. No, I've said this. My worry is I'd back Ole. I think if you look at what that mob down in M62 did, people forget, right? When we drew 0-0 with Liverpool at Anfield, Klopp was under a lot of pressure then. They'd gone, I think it was 8 games without a win. There was question marks over whether he is.
Was that last season or the season before?
It was the beginning of last season. The season before, I should say. Now the season's over.
Yeah, when we won the Europa League.
Yeah. Well, it was that season after that. It was with Lukaku when Lukaku had that chance, and De Gea made that amazing save. And there was a little bit of pressure on him. I knew a few scousers who were saying he's flattered to deceiver. He's not all that. But obviously, they stuck with him and they were right to do so. It's paid dividends. Is there not an element that's what we need to do? You know?
Yeah,
I know you all.
I'm backing him all the way now. I've said my piece.
We need to say to Ole, right, you've got 3 years on your contract. We'll give you those 3 years. Just back him. And even if at the end of next season we finish 10th, give him that extra 2 seasons he's got left on his contract.
Can you imagine the Twitter fans if that happened?
Well, this is what I mean. It's like, we say that, we won't back him. And he won't
if he sets targets for the next few years, top 3, top 4, top 3, a cup, progress, then you tell me this time next year, I'll take a cup and I'll take 4th place. I snap your hand off right there, now.
But what if we don't get that? That's what I'm saying. If we don't get those things,
I'm still backing him. Because them players, like I say, they're stealing a living.
But I think this is why. This is why I think he's signing younger players. And we were talking earlier on about United used to be the main goal for a lot of players. Like James Madison, Man United, for him to sign to Man United will be a great thing. Daniel James from Swansea to United is a fantastic thing. Pogba signed for United, and and everyone sort of knew that he wanted to go to Barcelona originally, but the move didn't come off. And De Gea, was wanted to leave aside from dodgy fax machines for a while, hadn't he? Do you know what I mean? So we've got a culture within the club that aren't taking responsibility, and then some of them are looking on to bigger and better contracts or bigger and better clubs in their eyes, and that's what Solskjaer needs to have the backing of the fans as well as the club to have that time and sign younger, hungry players where that badge means everything to them, and then build together. Because at the moment we have just got a culture where you look at Liverpool and what happened with Klopp. He identified players and got a lot. How many cup finals did they get to and didn't win anything? That's what United. That's what United need to be doing, and that should be acceptable.
But it's not just that, though, is it? Because if you look, when they got to the Europa League final, they lost. None of that team, none of that 11 started the Champions League final. They just won. You look at our record in Europe. We've got half the players that got knocked out in 2011. But the point I'm making is we've still got the same players playing for us that weren't successful years ago. Now. He got rid of the players that weren't good enough, but the board backed him, brought in. Last season when he lost the Champions League final, who was to blame? Or what was the reason? Goalkeeper. Yeah. So they went out and they spent a record amount of money on a goalkeeper. What did we do after we finished 19 points behind City? Bought a 3rd choice goalkeeper. Bought a young and up-and-coming fullback, and bought a Brazilian that Jose obviously didn't want because he never played it.
I give Jones and Smalling new contracts. We've just been awarding mediocrity since Ferguson left. Yeah.
What we are forgetting is it like when was it that Klopp was appointed at Liverpool? 5 years ago.
4.5 years ago.
4.5 years ago. Well, you've got to think 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, Liverpool were in a similar position to what we're in now. They were struggling. They weren't looking like they're going to win the league anytime.
They failed in cup final after cup final. Sooner or later they were going to win a trophy.
That is what I remember. I know it's easy to make yourself seem like a smart ass in hindsight, but I remember at the time when they give the job to Klopp, I said if they stick with him, then in 5 years they'll be in a brilliant position.
He said it'd take 5 years for him to. I think he said 5 years for him to win the title.
But the thing is that I was saying at the start, I didn't think they would. I think that after eventually they'll have one dodgy finish and they'll get rid straight away. Yeah. And I think that the same can be said for Man United at the minute. I think we do the exact same thing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but it's a massive job, whoever's in charge of that now and that rebuild job. And whoever it is, they need to be backed by everyone. And I just don't know if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right sort of
structurally from the inside as well. The scouting network, from the training ground up through to the pitch, it's got to be right. because Liverpool are doing it right, City are doing it right. So
Taylor, how long is it, mate? 36 minutes. Right, we sort of that was just me shouting to our producer.
Who are you talking to? I
Sorry,
can't see anyone over there.
they're
here. I can't see anyone.
Right, where do you see this? How do you see this panning out? Last week we did predicted 11 for the start of the new season. I'm not going to do that again. We've done that. Where do you see United ending next season, finishing next season? Andy, I'll start with you.
to get the players right. Fourth. And maybe a cup. I'd take the League Cup. Even
you would
any cup, and fourth. It's a start.
Yes, totally agree.
You'd take it, but I mean, is that where you?
Is that what you see? League Cup and fourth. Do you think that's what's going to happen?
Well, Adam was going on about challenging for the league last season. I watched the podcast and I was just shaking my head. No chance. Not a chance. If anything, it's going to be another 30 points behind City, 25 points behind Liverpool, maybe 30 points again. We have to. You have to put building blocks and aim for them.
I think it's promising.
Fourth and a cup. I'm happy with that.
And I think it's promising the players we're bringing in as well, like these young lads that we're linked to, like Longstaff and your man from Swansea, Daniel James. They are the sort of players that would come in and I think would be able to get us fourth place next season and actually put a lot of effort in and look like they're enjoying themselves playing for Manchester United at the same time. I think that's a great prediction, Andy, and if they're the sort of players that we're going for, I think next season, fourth place, but hopefully a positive fourth place. You know what I mean? We finished the season, we finished fourth, and we thought, you know what, though, we've got a good team of young players there who are just going to get better.
I'm even warming to the idea of taking Bale on a loan for the season.
Oh, God, no.
I said this
I've gone back on it.
Loan deal that everyone had a go at me.
It's going completely down the wrong avenue where we're supposed to
go. A loan deal,
no, bringing in like Bale, a knackered Galactico.
Well, if it's a loan deal,
I don't care. It just sends the wrong messages out. I'd rather build a team than
multi-Champions League winning.
Would you take him for the season or play a part, then ship him back out?
Sanchez came and didn't have the injury record that
he's not loaning.
But it doesn't make a difference. It's coming on a wage structure. I just think it sends out all the wrong signals by trying to repeat the same thing.
Fair enough.
I don't think they're the same player though.
No, I don't think they are. But the injury problems are there, and he's been playing in Spain where you don't get half the challenges that you get in the Premiership. First couple of weeks, if we go against West Ham straight away, they're going through bleeding Bale, and then that's him knackered for 6 months.
Then he was a loan deal. He goes back to Real Madrid. You don't keep him if he's out for the season.
It depends on the clause, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you don't say, oh well, if he gets injured, we'll pay for the rest of the season.
Loan deals can work out. Loan deals can work out. Depends what the player is. Tevez. Loan deals can work out.
We'll pay for his contract.
Do I think Ed Woodward would make a contract like that? Yes, I do.
Also, though, it's making me laugh that we're debating players that we want to see who actually want to play for Manchester United. We're talking about a player who don't even want to play football. Like Gareth Bale isn't asked. He wants to play golf.
That's what I said last week. We were going on about Bale. You just said Jesse Lingard's rubbish. Gareth Bale's not rubbish.
I'm not debating his talent. I just think it sends out the wrong signals. And for me, where United will finish next season, the issue is that we've got 3 clubs in City, Liverpool, and Spurs that are better than us. So the only
I've got Chelsea in and out as
well. That's what I mean. No, and then so in the transfer window,
I know they're going to lose.
In the transfer window, we've got to be looking at Chelsea and Arsenal to compete against. Totally. There's 3 of us going for that 4 spot next season.
Doable. We can do.
No, I'm not saying it's not doable, but again, it's just we've got a lot. There's so much happening behind the scenes that needs changing as well as well.
Where do you think? How do you think it's going to pan out?
I'm the eternal optimist. I reckon we'll get a decent. I think we could probably win the Europa League.
Yeah.
Any cup, yeah.
And I think we'll finish 5th.
That's Champions League in it, Europa.
Yeah, I think we finish 5th, and that depends if Solskjaer gets the time and plays that he wants.
Beat Arsenal in the final.
I'd settle for getting into the Champions League.
Yeah.
By hook or by crook, so yeah, I'm with you on that one. And Stockholm, I've always said Stockholm was one of my best nights as a United fan, even though I
Poland,
said
Krakow this year.
Do you know what I mean?
Poland next year, there'll be a lot of reds there if we got there, man.
Do you know what I mean about it being a positive 4th place? Yeah. So we got to get us, but we even the past few seasons when we have actually qualified for the Champions League, we've still felt negative at the end of the year, haven't we? This season, I want it to be a positive 4th place.
You can't challenge for the league, guys. Playing Thursday, Sunday football. It's just not on. Webby said this a few years ago. You just can't do it, and we're not going to do it for next season. So it's just concentrating on 4th. If you're lucky, 3rd on a cup.
But that's it. Is Europa a more viable option of getting into the Champions League than 4th spot though? you know what I mean? If you're saying we can't do well in the league by playing Thursday and Sunday, would you? How many games you have to win to win the Europa League? 16,
15.
Do you know what I mean?
Chelsea went unbeaten in
56, innit?
Insane competition.
Personally, I think
we haven't got the squad to try to go on both fronts.
I don't think we'll win the Europa. I mean, I get where you come. I'd love it if we did. To be honest, if he gets Champions, I don't think. I think he's more likely to just give
whatever teams come in from the second phase after Christmas.
Yeah, true.
I think we'll finish fifth. If I'm being honest, I don't think we'll win the Europa. I think next season's going to be a transitional season, and I think we might
another
struggle.
Transitional season.
Well, yeah,
fifth in the cup.
Look where we're at.
Fifth in the cup.
We've got a manager who's won 3 games out of the last 14 or whatever it is. We're bringing in supposedly young players. So I think we are going to have to bite the bullet and have this season coming up as one where we're getting to grips with it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we win the title, and it's all rosy. But I think it's going to be a struggle next season. I'm
not Ollie out, but if Ollie continues that form, say he loses the first 4 games,
yeah.
Could you see him lasting the season?
No, I've said it all along. I think if he has the run that he's just had for the last 14 games, for the first 14 games, I think he'll go.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I don't want him to. I think we need to stick with a manager, and I think Ollie, if you give him enough time, will get it right. I would love him.
What do you base that on, though?
I don't know what we base it. If he comes in and loses his first 14,
because the games that we won on the unbeaten run, we didn't play fantastic in them games.
No.
Do you know what I mean? There's not
the Arsenal game was alright. The Arsenal game,
I've not seen like any sort of magic. I mean, I think the Spurs game away was probably the biggest one in terms of...
I think Ollie's proved, right, with those first 13 games, whatever, that sometimes as a manager, all you've got to do is get your players together and get them playing well and keeping them happy. Ranieri did it at Leicester. Ranieri wasn't a tactical genius. He got a group of players, he made them happy, and he just let them go and play football. Pellegrini did it at City. You don't have to be a tactical genius. You just have to have a decent set of players and make them happy and give them an environment where they can flourish. And I think Ollie can do that. I just think he needs the right players to do that in. So I would give him time. Klopp's done it. He's done it. Tactically, he's naive at times.
Yeah,
he lost 6 fucking finals.
Yeah.
You don't lose 6 finals by being a tactical mastermind.
No.
But he creates an atmosphere within that change room. You can see where players like playing football for him. And I think Ollie has done that, and he needs to get back to that. And I think given the time, yes, it might be more hope than expectation, but I would give him that because I think he's got the capability.
And you mentioned Klopp, the atmosphere that he's building as well. It's something which has been mocked the last few years by I'm sure all of us have mocked it at some point. Fans have laughed at it. Like passion merchants, all
when
that
he was
stuff.
chanting after the Champions League final, I was absolutely
going for bowing after drawing against Fulham, was it? Like that's the sort of stuff
West Brom. James Milner's face was a peach.
But that's the sort of stuff we've laughed at over the last few years. But that was Klopp building his feel-good atmosphere at the club and giving.
Just for the record, I'd rather we're crap than Solskjaer go hugging or bowing at all like that.
I won't be stood in my seat if we draw with West Brom.
Well, I won't mind.
I'll be long gone.
I won't mind if we win the Champions League at the end of it. Put it that way. So
you like hugging more than I do.
Right. Just before we wrap up,
not a big toucher, are you, mate?
It's the Wally of the week.
Who are you going to go for, Andy?
Should we come back to you?
Yeah, I'm going to get time out for this.
It's got to be Fountain Wanker, hasn't it? It's got to be that Scouse lad.
Yeah, it's the Scouse.
Having an actual fucking...
No. Just
Tommy Tank stood on a statue
was
in
this
front
in
of
Liverpool?
Crowds
was
of
this
fans.
In Liverpool?
I think it was in Madrid.
In Madrid.
I think it was before they won as well, which is the most disconcerting thing.
Premature.
Honourable men.
You've got offended by nothing, ashamed of everything.
Wow.
No, it's the other way around.
Honourable mention you've got to give as well to that lad who went missing. Had everyone worried. His picture posted on everyone's Twitter saying, "Help bring him home." He's gone missing in Madrid. I was thinking, I hope they find this lad. You know where he turned up?
Can't call him 2 Wallies in a week, can you?
He's in prison. Like, why didn't they check there first?
Can't call him 2 Wallies in a week. 2 wankers in a week.
Right. Thank you. Yes. This is Swarman all over again. You're going through your routine.
I'm going to go Wally of the week, Anthony Joshua. Because thinking, why? He didn't even know if he had a clause in there because he thought he was going to walk in and then the fat lad from Up knocked him to give him 10 bells. You know what I mean? It's all about that burrito diet. Go on.
Do you reckon that's what it is?
Even a fat guy can be heavyweight champion.
There you go.
What are you saying, man?
Wow. I'm leaving now.
Pass me a Greggs.
Yeah. My Wally of the week is going to be Anton from Love Island. He's having an absolute shocker. Seriously.
Oh, bollocks to Love Island. Fuck this.
Well, they just stormed out in disgust, guys. So, they're coming back. No.
Look, right, he's the oldest one here. He's the oldest one here.
Yeah.
Grow up, Jay, at your age.
I'm
And you
sorry.
can't even say you've got, like, kids.
He's
Kids
the
are too
oldest
young
one
to
here.
watch
I'm
it.
45.
All right, okay. Sorry, Andy. Sorry, Andy.
Roll.
You're the
Shame
oldest
out,
one.
The Rock would say.
Have you picked one yet? Have you picked a Wally of the week? Got lost in all those sayings you were coming out with that were the wrong way around.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, thank you. Thanks for that contribution.
Pissed off.
That's the title of the podcast. Anyway, that's that sorted. We're having an event this weekend, Saturday night at the Nags Head Pub in Manchester City Centre. Gaz is going to be there doing a bit of a quiz. We're going to be doing a live podcast. Andy Tate's going to be there. House is going to be there. McCall's going to be there. We've got a DJ as well who's going to be playing all your favourite Manchester tunes. So come along. It's free entry. It's above the Nags Head Pub and it starts at 7.
Who's the DJ?
I've got this.
You're checking your phone.
Who's the
again.
DJ? Ask me. I'd have done it.
Well, this guy,
I'd have done
right,
it.
He comes with a. Don't
He's
start
heard
with
your
me.
music
It
taste,
comes with a
sorry.
thing, right?
The music
Dave
takes
Booth.
fucking
Dave
minute.
Booth.
Dave Booth.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah.
of him actually. Yeah, fair enough.
Right,
Actually,
Diva.
yeah. No, fair enough. All right.
You know, I'll tell you what. Get on the
Bit
radio
chin,
and
man.
sells a few
Wedge, aren't I? You know what I
poems
mean?
and I think the bloody Bob
What are you bringing
Dylan.
me into for?
Hey, he's not with us because he's at Park Life. So if you go to Park Life, check out Argh Kid. And,
Know what I mean?
This has been the 7th Circle of Hell. Sorry, this has been the Full-Time Devils.
Is this
podcast.
real?
Don't forget, right? Listen, we went up the charts on iTunes last week. Went up to the top 30, which we appreciate.
Did
Everyone,
we?
yeah, we did.
Is
so,
iTunes still going now?
yeah, yes, it is still going. It's very important.
That's
Thank
top of
you.
the pops, is
Yeah.
it, don't it?
So
changed it.
do subscribe on iTunes. Do find us
Please
on iTunes.
subscribe.
We're on SoundCloud. We're on Libsyn, and we're on. I don't know what's that. There's the pipes there making noise. So do leave a review as well on iTunes. We do appreciate your support, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And you'll have Adam later on most nights as well with all your latest transfer news. Thanks for watching.
Bye. See you in a bit.